Welcome back to Don's Life. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining today. In my hands, I have a brand new dash cam by Thinkware called the Q1000. They sent it over for me to review.
Please have a safe drive today.
And that's what we're gonna do. Let's go. Let's take a closer look at the camera and then we'll get into some of the specifications. So here we have a nice little backing plate that sticks to your windshield, and then it just clips onto the camera like that. So when it sticks to the windshield, you can adjust the camera right in the front here. The previous generation, the Q800 Pro that I actually have that I did a review on, the camera was mounted to the side. This keeps the form factor nice and tight. On the side here is where you put your micro SD card. And on this side here is a reset button if you run into any problems and just need to reset the whole thing. We have the record button on the bottom here. That's going to face downwards when it's mounted to the windshield, so record. We have the audio recording on or off, format your card. This is your connection for when you're connected to Wi-Fi or not. And then you have your power button there, built-in speaker. You have a record indicator here to let you know when it's recording. GPS indication if you have a GPS signal or not. And then if you're currently connected to a network. On the back here, you have where your power cord goes in. You have the option to add a radar as an accessory, and you have video input for an additional camera. We don't have another camera that we're going to test today, but that's where you plug it in. Let's have a look at some of the specifications. So starting off with the resolution, this does 2K resolution at 30 frames per second, or you can jump up to 60 frames per second, but you'll have to reduce the resolution to 1080p. This uses a premium Sony Starvis image sensor for great clarity. This is also recording in HDR, high dynamic range, so it'll have improved contrast and detail. We now have a wider viewing angle of 156 degrees versus the previous 140. And the edges, we now have the ability to have them less distorted. They call this de-warping technology. There's now the new improved Super Night Vision called Super Night Vision 3, which should give us extra contrast and detail in those light conditions. There's also Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, or ADAS. So what it's going to do is use a combination of the camera and or GPS to track the vehicle in front of you using the camera for collision alerts. It's going to monitor the lanes beside you for lane departure warnings. And because it can do route tracking, if you keep it up to date, it'll tell you where all the red light cameras are for the intersections that are monitored, as well as tell you where the speed traps are for the fixed photo radar sections that might exist in your municipality. There's also parking surveillance mode. So if you do the appropriate install and hardwire this into the vehicle, it can monitor motion and or impact detection. And you can record in a time lapse where it'll record every second frame per second, so 2 frames per second. It'll play it back at 10 frames per second, but that's gonna be useful if you want to watch what's happening around your car for drawn out periods of time. And the whole time it's gonna monitor your battery health to make sure you don't deplete your battery. This also has built-in thermal protection and uses a supercapacitor versus a lithium-ion battery, which doesn't do well in extreme heat. Now to get started, you are going to need a couple apps. You can get them on the Google Play Store or the App Store. If you have an iPhone, you're going to first need the Dash Cam Link app so you can talk to the camera. Then for the camera to be able to talk to the internet, for those features, you're going to need the Thinkware Connected app. First, you want to plug in the dash camera, get it powered up.
Please have a safe drive today.
Next, you want to open the Dash Cam Link app, and then you want to connect to the device via Bluetooth. Once that's established, it's going to ask you to connect to a Wi-Fi hotspot that the camera is broadcasting, and then you'll be able to access that Wi-Fi hotspot with your phone and start making adjustments to all of the settings. So in the settings menu, you're going to have your memory card settings. You can set the behavior for each of those items. You have your camera settings, so that's going to be your resolution, your brightness for both the front and rear camera. It also lets you change the setting for the rear camera perspective. For the record settings, you can set your incident sensitivity exactly how you want. You can also configure the Super Night Vision behavior, your high dynamic range. You can set privacy recording for different increments, so even up to 2 or 4 minutes. You have your impact and motion sensitivity, whether you're using a hardwired connection for external battery. You can set a timer. This is where you would adjust your battery protection, also set the threshold of what voltage it's going to monitor and turn off the camera for you, as well as you can pick which months are maybe colder months for you, where maybe you need it to shut off sooner to maintain your battery life. You have your road safety settings, So that would be for your safety cameras or your red light cameras, your speed cameras, your lane departure warnings, and your collision warning settings. And then the system settings, pretty straightforward. This is where all the main dash camera settings exist. So whether it be your time, units, miles, kilometers, etc. I know that seemed pretty smooth, but for me, I actually had to reset the camera because the first time it connected to Bluetooth fine, I was able to connect to its Wi-Fi hotspot okay, but it would not let me change the dash camera settings. I finally reset my phone as well as, like I said, reset this device here. Once both were reset and started fresh, everything worked seamless. Let's cover some of these Thinkware connected features. Essentially, it's going to allow you to remotely monitor your vehicle, whether through your phone or desktop. You can see what's going on. So whether it be a strong impact to the vehicle, it can send you an SMS alert, whether it be live view, you just want to check in on the vehicle, see through the camera, see what's going on in real time. You can check vehicle status. You can check driving history, all the routes that it's been because of the built-in GPS. You can set up geo-fencing, so if this was a fleet vehicle or you had an employee driving it, or maybe you've lent it to somebody, maybe your children, you can set up perimeters. If the vehicle leaves that perimeter, you'll get notified and be able to see what's going on and even look through the camera if you want. You can also do remote firmware upgrades. You can also check out where you last parked. Keep in mind, some of these features do require a subscription, and anything you're doing over the internet, carrier charges might apply through your plan, so just be mindful of those things. So I just want to talk about a few different scenarios where this Thinkware connected software could really be useful. Now, the vehicle behind me is an Escalade. It has a built-in Wi-Fi hotspot. The only downside is the vehicle needs to be on for the dash cam to be connected to it, to the internet. Now, I'm in my garage. My Wi-Fi at home actually broadcasts as far as the street. So I could keep a vehicle parked out there with the dash camera installed, and I could view it remotely anywhere in the world and also get notifications if someone was trying to break into it or somebody crashed into it, whatever it may be. You might have that option at work where you can connect to the Wi-Fi at work, maybe a mall, maybe a hotel. So I think that that is pretty cool that you have the ability to monitor your vehicle as long as it's connected to the internet somewhere, and most of the time free. Now remember, your dash camera is going to need to be plugged in at all times to stay connected to the internet with the vehicle not running. So you either need a hardwire kit or you can get a power kit that will plug into the OBD2 port and get power that way. All right, now that you're more acquainted with the Q1000, let's look at some footage. Okay, I've recorded some footage for you. First, we'll look at some daytime footage at 2K resolution at 30 frames per second. As you can see, license plates, depending on the angle of the sun and reflections, you can mostly make them out. Road signs are pretty good, any street signs, things like that. So overall, it looks pretty crisp. It's not too washed out. I think it looks pretty good. Here's some night footage. As you can see, as I'm passing these vehicles, it's more difficult to make out license plates. However, there's pretty good detail and clarity. If there was an incident to happen, I think it would definitely capture it, as well as I feel the sensor does a good job in these low light conditions since I'm not seeing a lot of noise in the picture. Here's some footage at 60 frames per second. However, the resolution's dropped now to 1080p. It's much smoother, which you can probably tell with those extra frames being captured. However, the field of view, it's more distorted. So I think I prefer the 2K resolution at 30 frames per second. However, depending on your use, you may want those extra frames and have it a little more smooth to capture certain things. So I put together some pros and cons on the camera and I'll review them with you. So first, I really like the form factor. Even though it doesn't have a screen, the fact that you can just access it with your phone really means you don't necessarily need one. And that keeps the form factor nice and clean. You barely even notice it while it's attached to the windshield. The next two pros are kind of personal ones for me. I do have some speeding tickets and I've had some photo radar tickets. So I see tremendous value in the speed camera alerts.
Speed camera in 500 meters.
As well as the red light or safety camera alerts.
Red light camera in 200 meters.
I drive in many different cities and I don't have them memorized on each of the locations. So as long as you keep this up to date, you'll be able to be notified in advance of those zones. And another big pro for me are those Thinkware connected features, specifically the live view, the fact that as long as it's connected to the internet, I can look through my phone or a browser and I can see what's going on in real time. So some of the cons, really the list is quite short. I do feel that when it comes to dash cameras, just the initial setup, at least for me, was a little bit clunky in the beginning. having to reset the camera. That may not be your experience, but I just want to be transparent, let you know that's what I went through. So the setup, I think, is, you know, a little bit more difficult than some of the easier cameras to use on the market. So not really a con, but just something notable. It's not a 4K camera. So if you're looking for a 4K camera, this is a 2K, but with HDR. So with this good sensor and then high dynamic range, helps make up for any lack of detail that you think you would need with a 4K camera. This concludes my review of the Thinkware Q1000 Dash Cam. I'll leave a link in the video description below, as well as you can use the coupon code DonsLife to save yourself some money. But if you liked today's video, hit that like button. Please consider subscribing. We'll talk to you next time.